Sippers, welcome to this episode of the Tea With Me podcast with me, Shane Todd. It's a guest episode. We're in the studio. Before we get into it, let me just very quickly say this. We are sponsored by Manscaped. Look, I know this should be illegal in 2021, but there's 4 men in this room right now. That's it. And that should be illegal. But what I want to say is, I know for a fact that my pubic hair is in optimal shape because of manscaped.com and the lawnmower 3.0. Sorry, I hit the microphone there. I apologize, Dan. He'll hit me. Listen to that. What does that sound like?
Baldness. Exactly.
Well, they probably don't want to be associated with the word baldness. Coming into the summer, you gotta get a cut for your mutt. You know, you gotta get a trim on your Manscaped. Look, it's coming into the summer. You know, during winter, some of you guys out there might be a little bit throwback. You know, you might want a little bit of a bush just to give you a little bit of padding for the winter. You know, in the thatch cottage. But what we got to do for summer is we got to shave it up because we don't want to sweat down there. We want to be in good hygienic shape. Manscaped sell ball razors, ball deodorant, ball cleanser, ball wipes. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Manscaped, the guys at Manscaped are obsessed with balls. They love balls. They think about balls. Think about your balls. They think about their own balls. And I'm thinking about your balls too. Right now, I'm thinking about your balls. And if you're female, if you don't have balls, your dad's balls. I'm thinking about someone you know's balls and how we can take it up a notch. Manscaped have all the products you need. Go to the website. I'm not making this up, by the way. Manscaped.com. Use the code TWITHME for 20% off and free shipping. You can get a nice wee travel case, nice wee travel pack if you're, if we are able to go on holidays, or if you're just going to a relative's house and you think that while there you would like to trim your pubic hair. Now you can. Manscaped.com. 2 other quick things to plug. Number 1 is I'm doing the SSE Arena, my brand new stand-up show tour, which is called Chancer. I say tour, I'm probably just doing the SSE Arena, so it is 2 nights and it's just a tour of Belfast, and it's just those 2 dates. The 6th and the 13th of November. The 6th of November is sold out, and the 13th there are about a third of the tickets available for that, so go and check that out. Last thing to plug is Patreon. Patreon.com/teawithmepodcast, or just search Patreon Tea With Me Podcast. We do this episode on a Wednesday. On Monday, just for Patreon, we do a full-length bonus episode, now featuring video, so it's a video version as well. And on Friday, we do a live stream, and my guest today is one of our regulars in for that. We have Ciaran Bartlett, Paddy McDonald, Dave Elliott, and we're going to open that up and get more people into the studio. So that's every Friday. We do that. It's only for Patreon. You ask questions. You're part of the show. And we do those at 2 p.m. every Friday. So patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. What do you say we just get into this episode? My guest, who's sitting to my left, said just before we started recording, we were talking about Switzerland. And he said, I've only been in Switzerland whenever I was traveling from Kosovo. Ciaran Bartlett, why were you in Kosovo?
I was trafficking people. No, I was.
You're like the worst guy under questioning.
Just like straight in. Yeah, I was moving hardcore heroin bricks through several Balkan countries. I was there. I did a wee bit of research, and I really.
By the way, that sounds more dodgy than just going people trafficking.
I was doing a wee bit of research, and
oh, what
on the conflict there, and I was working. I did a wee bit of journalism. I was only there for about a week.
Oh, so for your PhD, not just.
No, it was pre PhD. I did it sort of. Well, the research side of it went into a master's thesis, and then when I was there, I wrote some journalism and I made a wee radio doc.
Okay.
And I sold it all to media places here, so that sort of paid for the trip and gave me a wee bit of. I mean,
we've established before Kerry Coyne. Kerry Coyne in the house, and as opposed to last Friday's live stream, not wearing pajamas, or as you refer to them, flouncies. straight up shorts.
Yeah, I left the red specials at home, and I've gone for Nike basketball shorts, despite the fact that I don't play basketball.
You don't?
No, funnily enough, like I've never dunked. the only thing I've ever dunked was a donut. Like, do you know what I mean?
You know, McDonald's have just brought out cheese sauce, like the size of your burger. I don't know if anyone's seen this. It's like a.
Is it warm?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Because I'll tell you what I'm not interested in: cold cheese sauce.
Cold cheese sauce.
Get out.
Cold cheese sauce sounds like if you and me formed an indie band, it would be one of our B-sides. But yeah, you just dip you dip your burger into more cheese, basically.
I have a wee McDonald's story from last night, actually. Not
That's very quick turnaround on that.
I've genuinely been quite well behaved this year, I would say. I've lost some weight. I've lost about 3 stone since January. Yeah. I've maybe put on a few pounds again, and then I've lost it again, right? Yeah. And I'm not going the full Nolan, 600 calories a day, not sustainable, right? But anyway, long story short, I was at McDonald's last night, and I was just all I was getting was a wee wrap. That's all I was getting.
I do this too, by the way, where if I tell someone about McDonald's, I go, I hadn't been there like for a year before it.
I know, it's like you have to like justify the McShame to like, to other people. Anyway, we were there, and mate, oh my God. It's the new one at McKinstry Road, so it's like between Twinbrook and Lisburn, in that kind of unclaimed paradise of McKinstry. And
sorry, Dan lives in Lisburn now. Have you been here? You been there?
No. It's where Milltown is. On your way into Lisburn. There's a Mickey D's at that big roundabout there, at the end of what people my age still refer to as the new road, despite the fact that it was built in 1990. And there's an even newer road near it, which is the newer road. So anyway, you never know the names of these roads. Like, do you know what I mean?
Why are you from the Shire? I'll meet you on the new road, sire.
I'll meet you at the village of Cold Brie Sauce. So I
don't know what that means.
The brie it was too niche. It was so niche. Cut it. Anyway, so there was what was it on? Yeah, mate, at McDonald's last night. As we're at the window awaiting the food.
Yeah.
And a fucking big dirty, what I'm describing as a McFurry, a big rat, fucking ran out in front of us and was like chilling out round at the thing, and we were both like, and it was a disgusting rat.
So wait, you're in the as opposed to a well-groomed.
No, yeah, like as opposed to like one coming out in a chef's hat like Ratatouille. It's been in whipping together some salads, right?
in a brand collaboration. So hold on, what window were you at? And by the way,
I'm in the passenger seat.
Dave Elliott made a great point to me recently where he said, "Why at the first window do they go?" When they take your payment, do they go, actually, if you want to head on to the next window, where else am I going?
Do you know what I hate? I hate when you get to the next window and they go, can you go to the next window?
Yeah, that's it. That must be the cushiest job.
Like the third window?
Yeah.
No, feed me now. If it's not fast enough to bring it here, you're not allowed to call it fast food anymore. Call it, well, no. Like, it irritated me that we're at that third window.
Okay.
So I'm all
window down.
The driver's window's down. I'm in the passenger seat. I'm already here because they've sent me to that third bit, which I don't like.
Right.
And then this dirty, stinking rat ran out, and it was like dark brown, and like it had you know when you can see the back of its tail, and it's like thick, and you're like, oh, right. And my instinct was
is it ran past you in between the car and the window?
It ran out in front of us and then ran into like the way they plant like wee trees and shit.
Oh, so it was outside. Right, okay.
It was outside.
That's just, by the way, in case McDonald's want to sponsor the podcast. I just want to establish that.
Well, the thing is that we told them, we were like my instinct was to say keep your food, I'm good, and drive on, and then my second instinct was I'll have a wee wrap, right? And we said to them, we were like, here, there's probably nothing you can do about it because it is outdoors. There's a big rotten rat over there, and they were just like, right? As if like, you know, we're between Twinbrook and Lisburn. There'll be rats. Do you know what I mean?
What did you expect to do? The guy to just whip out a javelin?
I thought he might have had like, you know, some cold cheese sauce to lure it to its death or something. Do you know what I mean? I know, man. It just fucking it irritated me. Or Mickey D's thinking of sponsoring your podcast?
Not now, no. No, I mean, I don't think there were at any point. Genuinely, though, McDonald's did sponsor Boytown for one episode.
Oh shit!
And they, this is very me, right? They said what we want you to do. They had a new sauce out called it was Big Mac sauce, right? It was just the sauce,
to put on a Big Mac.
Exactly
right.
So
I've never had a Big Mac.
They were selling that separately, right? So they said, would you do something on the podcast with it? So I said to Dave, what about we do, when you see people doing like body food? Remember that was a thing for a while? You'd be like weird businessmen at a lunch, and there would be like sometimes an Asian lady. Maybe this didn't happen, and she would like lie there for them. Dan knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's a man that used to work for a few, let's say, big broadcasting companies, and might have been to a few of these lunches. So you would have like an Asian, didn't need to be Asian, a lady lying on a table, like kind of still, and like in her belly button you'd have a bit of like a bit of foie gras.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
What are you on about? This was like a lunch thing.
How would you describe this?
Cannibalism?
No. She would have food on her.
That's really degrading. Like, I mean, that's really like. Sorry, I realise I sound like a complete knob, but that's really like grim.
Yeah.
Who wants that as their job? What'd you do today? I'll let somebody dip celery into my fucking navel. Do you know what I mean? Wee garlic and herb one. That's rotten. Why would you want to eat that? That's like, do you remember that place?
By the way, we had a nice surprise plan for you for lunch, but you can go fuck yourself.
Tell the end of this story. So body food was a thing.
Yeah,
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I don't think they're still doing it, but
at corporate places they would have done that.
Not really. It was like an opulent thing that people were doing, but probably not doing it as much as you thought they were.
This is why
it was probably in a film or something.
We've been punished because of body food has led to the pandemic. That's what I think.
So I said to Dave for
Let's
Boytown,
do some body food.
You lie on the table, mate.
I'll Big Mac you.
And in your belly button, we'll pour the Big Mac sauce, and I'll dip some chips in it and eat them.
Did he clean his navel beforehand?
Well, here's the thing. I thought that would do very well as a viral clip. Right? Very, very well.
Do you know what's an interesting thing? I think if you took a portrait of my navel and a portrait of Dave's, they'd look very similar. Go ahead.
I mean, that is the Netflix show that we need to format. Whose navel is it? So Dave was like, well, no, I don't want to do that. And then I went, that's right, I actually can't eat the Big Mac sauce because I'm lactose intolerant. So in the end, we just...
I didn't know it.
Yeah, in the end, we both pretended, like Dave was eating the Big Mac burger, and we came up with some really bad idea, and then I was just pretending to eat a Big Mac because I couldn't. So I was playing an actor who was eating a Big Mac.
McDonald's, if you're watching and you need to sponsor somebody, go to a man that's tried most of your products apart from the Big Mac. There's too much bread,
right?
Even for me. Like.
Sometimes some people just slip that middle bit out.
Where does it go then?
To that big rat.
Here's the thing though about the body food thing. Because I'd never really heard that, but when you were talking about it, it reminded me of. Do you remember that place, the Bamboo Beach Club?
Yes. By the way, Mike, can you look it up? Or can Dan? Can one of you look it up? Like let's find out what it's called. Let's find out where it originated from, and let's find out how quickly and Just Eat we could get someone over.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Do you remember the Bamboo Beach Club? They used they used to do that thing.
It was a night, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, Bamboo Beach Club, or as it was just known, Beach Club.
Beach Club, yeah.
It was in the Odyssey Arena in Belfast.
Discuss the Odyssey Pavilion, mate. As a place where businesses die. Like.
So I went to Beach Club maybe I was not a big nightclub guy because
once.
I didn't have a load of mates then, and like you would have more gone to someone's house or gone to a bar. I wasn't like a huge nightclub guy, but I went to Beach Club to a foam party and found it inconvenient.
The
idea of a foam party.
I found the whole place to be largely inconvenient, and they did a thing in there that was the people were doing called body shots, which was like, you know, you would drink out of people's navels, and I'm going, it would never strike me to do anything to a navel.
Is there anything you like enough that you would take out of a navel? Like, is there a drink or a food?
I would dip a Raffles chip in the Raffles curry sauce in almost anyone's navel. Like, I mean, I think the sauce is strong enough to stand up to the navel juice. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a. By the way, will you make an episode? A note to call this episode "Navel Juice"? Thank you very much. So, look, last time you came in here, you were in pajama bottoms, or as you call them, flounces.
Yep.
I tried to impress you today by wearing a band T-shirt.
I see that,
but you gave me nothing.
I'm not overly into them.
I know, but I still thought, you know, it might strike up I know you're a music guy. I thought it would strike up a bit of a conversation.
No one has said anything to me about my Street Fighter T-shirt.
You're wearing a Street Fighter T-shirt. I'm wearing an Aslan T-shirt that I bought at their tour. And by the way,
do you like them? You into that?
Not well printed, the T-shirt. I'm not into their merch, but I'm into them as a band, and they have a song that is one of the only songs that can make me cry.
What is it?
Crazy World.
All right, okay.
By Aslan.
I have songs that make me feel weepy.
So, Crazy World can make me cry because I loved the song, and then when I had the baby, I listened to it by chance, and I was like, gone. It's like, how can I protect you in this crazy world? And it was during COVID when he was born, so I was like, oh, gone. But that's one of the only songs.
Protection's key. Like.
You actually nearly made me cry singing once.
Did I?
Yeah.
What was I singing?
You sang Ave Maria.
Did I?
Yeah.
The actual one?
At a service that we were.
Oh shit! Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. That was very difficult for me as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, can I say what it was? It was your dad's funeral, and you sang Ave Maria, and I've heard you sing, doing
filthy
comedy
songs.
shows, doing silly songs about what was the Garth Brooks parody?
What was it?
Friends in Low Places is the song.
I've had wanks in weird places or something.
Yeah. So
when I splooge, you make strange faces. That's what it is.
So in my head, when I hear you're on the lineup for your dad's funeral, I'm like, oh no.
On the lineup. Well, did a cheeky 5 at my dad's funeral.
I asked for a spot. So you said you're doing a song at it, and I was like, I hope it's
Domino's take him. Am I right? It's great to be here. Oh, fuck's sake, that's funny, mate.
And he shouldn't say. Genuinely, at my granny's funeral, right, which was just up the road, they were like, will you speak at it? Will you like say a thing? I try new stuff.
When you said just up the road, it sounded like
the new road.
It sounded like it was on at the same time as my dad's funeral, and you did a set of both, you know.
Doubling up. I'm doubling up for the coin.
Then finished off with a wee 5 in the international back home. Oh, that's funny, man.
At my granny's funeral, they went, will you like say a few words at it? And I said yes. And I think I was doing my first solo show that year. And it was about 3 weeks before it, and I thought we could run a bit of stuff here, and I just treated it like it was a bit of a set, and it was funny. Yeah. Like my dad was like, my dad's like quite short.
Yeah.
My dad was and I was up at like a, what do you call the thing? Pulpit.
A pulpit, yeah.
I was up at that, and you could just about see like.
I was gonna say it's a pulpit because a pulpit sounds like, it sounds like a different type of club that you might have got in the Odyssey. The pulpit.
No, that's what the family wanted for the funeral, so we were in that, and it only came up to like just the top of my chest, and I got up and I was like, here's the thing, I made it seem like it was going to be your average funeral speech, and I said, look, I'm talking up here on behalf of my dad, and he's sitting in the front row, and like everyone's upset because it's my granny's funeral, and I said, my dad wanted to say a few words, but he just couldn't. He couldn't because you wouldn't be able to see him because you can only see here on me, and he's a very small man, and that broke the tension a bit. And then at that point, when there was a bit of laughs, that's when I was like, I'm a stand up, and all of a sudden there was we're cooking, you know what I mean? Like we're a little bit of crowd work, I was like, sandwiches ready yet for after, and I was like,
zinging.
Bit of crowd work. But yeah, you sang at your dad's funeral, and you sang Ave Maria, and I was just not prepared for it because first of all, that's such a beautiful song. And then, yeah, I've only seen you sing comedy type songs. So when you did that, I was like, oh God.
Mental.
I had a tear in my head.
For me, songs that make me feel weepy. There's one called "Hurt in Your Heart" by John Martin. That's just like
Hurt in Your Heart does sound like a downer.
It is a downer, but it's an amazing song. It's when the hurt in your heart is gone, like give me a sign, you know, like. And he's singing to his ex-wife, mate. Oh my God.
When the hurt in your heart is gone, give me a sign. Meaning, like, when you fucking wised up, give me a shout.
See when you've calmed down a wee bit.
What other songs make you cry? First time I heard Butterfly Kisses, Robert Carlyle, I cried and I was about 11 and did not have any children. I was like...
Is that his name, Robert Carlyle?
I think so.
Is Robert Carlyle not the guy, the actor from Full Monty?
Full Monty, yeah, but he's some voice on him. I don't think it is Robert Carlyle.
Kisses, yeah. That one, yeah.
She leaned over.
Do you know, I think it's weird when people get songs like that played at like, you know, on like Cool Goes Quiet or what's it called, Lights Out, like that. Yeah. Because that's a guy singing about his daughter. Like. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I really love you, Jolene. And it's like, you know, bring me my breakfast, give me a wee kiss on the forehead, daughter.
I love you. That's my girl. You know, she.
I just love when people just hear a slow, like melancholic song, go, that's our relationship, and you're like, it's not though, is it?
Do you remember back in the day on that? I don't know if they still do it. People would be like, I seen a bird on a Mondeo, so if you're listening, give me a shout. Who was texting in expecting a reply?
Hello, yeah.
I saw you in Belfast.
I looked at you for ages on the train in the cold rain.
I stared intensely at your face and you weren't looking at me, but 70 miles on a train.
I just love that vibe though of like, you know, like a song, a great example would be like, you know, like Mama by the Spice Girls or something. Mama, I love you. Some guy in pole glasses like, I love her.
I play a song for my daddy. This is Mama by the Spice Girls. Like always getting it wrong.
Oh, that's funny, mate. But yeah, fuck Butterfly Kisses. Do you know what's another whopping song? It's such a rip off of another song though, but you know, that reminds me of Butterfly Kisses is that Lone Star Amaze, you know, don't know how you do what you do. And it's like, and it's such a rip off of this Bryan Adams one.
Right.
It was like, it literally like,
yeah.
You know, it still feels like first time together. Oh, mate, what about Bryan Adams? Underrated.
Yeah, remember he did that song with Mel C and he cleared up his acne, and apparently
Class.
he said that when he turned up to record it, they wouldn't let him into the building when he said he was Bryan Adams.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Oh my God.
That was a great song, Bryan Adams and Mel C, Baby When You're Gone. Did we find anything more about Asian body food? Naked body eating? Dan?
Yeah, so it came from Japan.
By the way, Dan's pretending he had to look this up. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It originates in Japan.
Okay.
And it is sushi based, but there are some countries that have banned it.
Yeah.
Including China, they don't like it.
Why would you want to eat sushi off some? I don't even like sushi off a plate, to be fair. Look, I mean,
to be fair, sushi's probably a good food for it, you know, practicality wise.
wee bits.
Yeah, like you wouldn't want to do like a gravy chip and sliced chicken.
Say, stick that stew into your navel.
I love to eat that stew from someone's
Here,
bowl.
champ abs, get over here.
Here, I've started watching a thing called The Tunnel on Sky,
right,
which is a remake of The Bridge.
Oh, right, okay, it's the same. Oh, sorry,
and I think
the same idea.
Yeah, I think of you when I think of that program, because you're a guy that we're the opposite, right? You'll watch the Scandinavian drama, and I am the lazy person they make it for, where it's like, do it without the subtitles and in English, and probably worse.
Yeah, you've seen.
But you love like you like the foreign dramas.
You've seen the Daniel Craig Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I've seen all the Swedish ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you watch like
foreign dramas?
Yeah.
Depends what it is though.
What Gamora? That's what I want to do.
Gamora, it's class. The Brazilian.
It's Italian.
Sorry, what am I thinking of?
Ronaldo.
City of God.
Oh, what? That's a great film. That's such a good film.
No, Gamora. I have Gamora in the house. I've seen it once. It's weird that I associate City of God with it.
Yeah. City of God was City of God was one of those things you were very keen to tell people that you were a big fan of it back in the day because it was subtitled.
It's like
come round to my house and watch this subtitled.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I've seen a lot of Japanese movies. To be fair, I've seen a lot of Kurosawa and Atsu and all these different ones, and it depends when I'll decide when
Rumble
I break
in the
out.
Bronx and all.
It's when you know when people say like, you know, they've seen oh yeah, I've seen the Seven Samurai. You know,
yeah.
I'm sitting there going,
Tom Cruise, top Asian actor.
But have you seen Yojimbo?
Does Tom Cruise just play a straight up Japanese samurai in that?
In the last Samurai?
Yeah.
He plays an American guy.
Oh, I've been under the impression up until now that Tom Cruise was just playing a Japanese guy and never addressed it at any point.
No, he plays an American guy charged with training like a Japanese army, and then he gets captured by the samurai and assimilates with them culturally, and then fights against the people that he just trained.
That's one of those ones, isn't it?
Great
where
show.
if you got accused of training the Japanese army, it's very clear cut where either you did it or you didn't. You know what I mean? Like there's no grey area in that. Like either you trained the Japanese army or you didn't. Tom Cruise
trained him a wee bit.
Tom Cruise is definitely a weird guy, but like some unbelievable
I think
films.
he's great. I don't really give a shit about his personal life or whatever. I think if you can't watch A Few Good Men and just go, this is amazing, he's brilliant in it, it's a brilliant script, or something.
Do you think you could get caught up in Scientology on the right day?
No, I think I could. Do you know the only reason I would do it would be to tax haven some of my precious coins. No, I don't think so. I think
you're the only guy who's like every religion just for like financial reasons.
Yeah.
Like in diversity forums, you're asking for more boxes.
Yeah, the Saint Ciaran Church out in Lisburn that I'm building. Yeah. On diversity forums,
oh no.
What?
No, I'm joking. I'm just.
Don't want me to go down this
I'm
route.
thinking back to last. No, I do, but I'm thinking back to last Friday whenever we did the live episode, and then towards the end you said about blah blah, and I made a joke and I went, "We'll cut that out," and you were like, "Yeah," and I went, "Oh no, it's live," and then you just didn't know the whole episode was live.
Yeah.
I lie in diversity forums. No, this isn't live.
On diversity forums, I enjoy choosing white other, and and if I'm given the option, I'll write something like White Belfast on it. White Irish, White Belfast, White Westie.
Others seem so fun just because the people who have to like look at the diversity forums just can't compute it.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself disabled? Sometimes. every time I struggle to put my socks on, yes. Oh, it's brutal. That's horrible.
Diversity forums. I mean, diversity forums are like it's like after you've done something. Do you know what I mean?
It's always at the end of an application, or
exactly. Yeah. It's such like it doesn't go into anything.
Yeah. Here's all the reasons why I'm brilliant for this job. Here's all the reasons why you're probably not going to hire me.
White other samurai.
White other, I love that bit. White other. I trained some Japanese army guys, so I've assimilated a wee bit. I'm white
other asthmatic. Look, we didn't really get into this on Friday, but I wanted to ask you about it. You know, at the minute, if you listen,
very serious. Sorry,
I'm serious because we want to talk about politics.
Right.
Say the executive come to you. All right, they show up at the door, and by the way, they pay their respects. All right, there's a
bag of money.
There's a bag of money given. Frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Right, is passed across.
And a dead rat.
Your little what do you call those? The Gringotts Bank and Harry Potter. Who are the wee lads at work there?
The goblins.
Yeah, the your wee goblins. Your army of cash gathering goblins run out. Collect all the money, right? They just get it all. And they file it, right? And they take it away.
How amazing would it be if actually under my house was like the Great God's vault?
You're what do you call the guy from DuckTales?
Scrooge
McDuck.
Yeah.
You at the end of every day, you go down to your basement under your house and you do like a big angel and a pile of money, and then you dive into it. Right, so the executive come to you and they go, Ciaran, we need to know how to fix Northern Ireland because
go to B&Q.
journalists are saying it's burning. They're going Belfast on fire at the minute. I mean, it isn't, right? And the reality is there's about 400 fellas who are mad into it, and everyone else is like a hobbyist. And you know that the
See, when you
riots...
say a hobbyist, that
Yeah.
makes me think of people painting wee toy soldiers, because that's what we call ourselves. But go on, what?
Well, at the end of the day, I think they are just toy soldiers, mate.
Superb.
There's like 400 guys, I'll give you, that are really into it. And you know that the rest aren't that into like the rioting, because 2 nights they were mad for it. And then on the third night, do you remember the temperature dropped about 5 degrees and they all went, nah, we'll head in here, it's freezing.
Yeah.
You know, so the executive come to you and they go, listen, Ciaran, we've tried to figure it out. We've had meetings about having meetings
I would say
to potentially have
have
meetings.
have you fuck tried?
And they go, look, what is the solution?
Mate, I don't know. I think most normal people, I think most people are normal and just want to get on with their lives. And I think most people, this is the thing, the thing annoys me about the executive and things like that is like, see all that crap, and it's been going on for a long time, but all that crap of like, oh, if I walk down the corridor, I don't say hello to people that are in that party, or I'm like, well, that kind of makes you a knob, because in any other job, you walk down a corridor, you say all right to people. I mean, just be civil, just get on. So at that basic level, they're not trying. Then when it comes to all that stuff, I totally get why people are pissed off. They have been left behind. Of course, they've been left behind. But so, I mean, my own politics is more based on class than on the sort of divides that we were brought up with, or born into, or whatever. So I don't think their enemy. I don't think their enemy particularly is the police. I don't think their enemy particularly is, working class Catholics or nationalists or whatever. I also don't really think it helps lumping religion in with that as much anymore. I don't think religion is as much of people's identity here as it was even 20 or 30 years ago. So I don't know, mate. But in terms of fixing it, it's a shit show, because who are you asking to fix it except people that have profited greatly off this type of thing happening? They get money. I think there's a lot of corruption, and depresses me.
Do you think food vans would help?
I sometimes wonder if instead of bringing water cannon in, you rolled in with John Favreau's taco truck.
Yeah,
you'd make a killing, and then nobody, let's make a killing of another kind. You know what I mean? And then I don't know. It just depresses me. I'm sick of seeing. I mean, I get everybody's seen the videos of like people getting set on fire, throwing petrol bombs and stuff, and that guy trying to stamp to put his feet out has been put across every musical clip.
It's my dad.
You can imagine, and it's just like,
R.I.P.
The age of those people that are out doing that, like they showed you the ages of the people arrested from the first and second night, and they were like 13 to 25, and you're going, what are you even on?
There's always like a 37-year-old as well, and you're going, mate, what's the situation there?
Yeah.
Because boys will be boys up to a point.
Yeah, boys will be boys, but you're a middle-aged man. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. Like
it's weird because I don't really want to comment on it. I don't think I have anything helpful particularly to say about it. So it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like redundant. I don't think people like that want to listen to what I have to say about their situation. All I know is the situation on both sides of that peace line is pretty similar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those people on both sides of that in those areas have been fucked over and left behind. Your enemy isn't each other. Your enemy are the people that are fucking you over, which is a wealthier political class, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
See, I don't. That whole thing of like, I don't speak to them in the corridors of Stormont. A bit like, I mean, you can relate when the money's right.
Well, mate, when the money's right and I'm getting subsidised food, I'll talk to anybody. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think the spread would be up there?
Mate, have you never been into the wee kitchen bit up in Stormont?
No.
Mate, it is a spread. It's fucking gourmet food for fuck all.
And do you think the food cuts across the divide? As in, do you think
Yeah.
what one side want the other side are happy with, or do you
on-
reckon that's something they go back and forth with?
On one side, they're very much into having like blue potatoes.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and you know, a wee plate of like, you know, blue potatoes, white sauce, or sorry, white rice and red sauce, and then on the other side it's like carrots, peas.
They're getting their greens.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I know that the food up there, from what I remember, was literally like restaurant standard.
That's
food.
why we're in this predicament.
Yeah, because they don't have to pay for it. They're not paying full whack for it.
If they were bringing packed
Mate,
lunches,
Look at it this way, right? You're a self-employed guy, right?
yeah,
You know that when you earn coin, right?
yeah. Here he goes.
When you here he goes. When you earn that money, that there's things that you've got to spend that on. You know, you've got to spend that on, say, your car.
You've got to hire more goblins.
Yeah, I've got to keep the army of goblins happy, but you also have to starve them down enough that they're hungry for it. You know, so if you think about it though, you've got to spend money on, you know, your house, your car, you know, all that stuff, food, all that. If you're up in Stormont, you know, your car, you're not necessarily having to pay for that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you're able to claim a lot of things on expenses. You're already getting a good wage. You've got a great pension set up, even though, like, I did a story years ago about how they were the companies that so everybody puts money in their pension pot in Stormont, and at the time the companies so they invest that money. So it would be like, all us put money in their pot, I take that money and invest it in these companies, and then we get a bigger return, so our pension pot is super healthy all the time. But the companies that we're investing it in are all like literally the fucking worst companies on earth.
Extra vision.
Like, just like
Woolworths,
you know,
and
like
all.
conglomerates that are like responsible for Amazon deforestation, or
Right.
like companies that are human rights violations left, right, and centre, and all. And you're sitting there going, right, brilliant. And then so they're already getting a good base rate, and then the things that most people have to spend their wage on, they don't have to. And even like getting food and work is your like. If you when we go, like, if we're working, like, you don't get subsidized food, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. You've like, they're getting like restaurant quality food for a couple of £, and they still can't talk to each other. I'm going, do you know how sound I would be if I was getting free curry all the time? Think about it. Think about that. Think about
You're right. It's the ivory tower thing. It's literally like whatever happens as a result of their talks or lack of and something, they're not feeling it or seeing it.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is get a few people that are down. Like, you know,
you need
like
to get a few hungry goblins.
you know, there's a, you know, there's the thing about there's an assumption sometimes towards the term community worker. Get the good ones. Some fella in a windbreaker, a bottle of Lucozade in his back pocket. Get him up the storm.
assumptions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because if I were to say,
A windbreaker.
if I were to say to you, oh, you show me one community worker that isn't running about trying to stop people rioting.
Yeah.
He's wearing a windbreaker.
I was gonna say, show me one community worker that isn't in some kind of brand sponsorship deal with North Face.
North Face make gear for if you're going up Everest or if you're rioting about the RC border.
Has anybody seen my regatta? I'm going out to throw a few bombs.
I
That's
mean,
fun.
yeah, community workers dress. That is one of
It's their
the.
uniform.
They wear windbreakers.
Yeah.
They wear tracksuit bottoms. But
They have
get,
shaved heads, but none of them have fades.
get get the ones that are like good eggs,
Yeah.
and just get them to let them sort it out.
I don't know, mate. I think everybody's a wee bit responsible for it, but I think, like, it's weird because sometimes I think we live in a bit of a bubble in the sense that, like, you know, look at our group of mates, all shapes and sizes, all different, like, backgrounds in terms of where we're from and what sort of upbringing we had and all that, and identity or whatever. But one thing we all have in common is we all, you know, like making strangers laugh, like, so.
Yeah.
You know, that unites us, and we're kind of, I would say, despite what I think some people think of us, we're all fairly, you know, sensey guys, like, and you know,
You mean senseis?
yeah, we're all training Japanese fighters.
You mean like
and,
sensible? Like,
no, like sensitive, like, you know, I would
Oh,
say
yeah.
we're all fairly,
yeah.
you know, in tune with ourselves that way. Like, I don't know. Maybe
Talk
I'm
about
talking
censor. Someone put butterfly kisses on
I was
loudspeaker there and
gonna
I'd blub.
I was gonna say,
Maybe that's what they need at the peace line.
it's just instead of water cannon, just fucking
Lone Star.
Don't know how you do what you do. Please,
Mate, I'm sorry.
You said, please disperse. I'm so in love with you. Do you know what they should do? I really think they should investigate. I remember watching like Future Weapons or something before, and what, did you never watch that show on Discovery? It's fucking excellent. And there was a thing they were doing, was a crowd dispersal thing. Have you heard of the brown note?
No.
Have you heard of the brown note? So right, so like the brown note is like a frequency that's like a low, like a low hum.
Yes.
That literally, when apparently if you hear it loud enough, it just it
Makes you shit yourself.
Yeah, because it's the resonance of your sphincter, right? So your sphincter just goes, "Bleh," and then you're covered in shit, right?
Yeah.
And so it's the world's most amazing lockpick, right? The brown.
By the way, the last 5 minutes of every podcast, we get that on and we fucking, every podcast guest shits himself.
And on Future Weapons, they were investigating, like giving the brown note like directionality, so that you.
By the way, sounds like something in McGabry.
Well,
Give him the brown note. Slip him the brown note.
It's a thing where like they can focus a ray of the brown note onto you to make you shit yourself. And I'm going, no one wants to ride when it's coming out the sides.
I don't know if there's too much time in their hands. The guys that made that, or you watching programs about how they can
sitting
make
there
people do
going,
that?
I could be writing something, but I'm dying to find out. You know, I could be fixing, could be doing all that work for the executive.
Well, if North Face bring out nappies, that system's fucked.
But that was the thing that they were investigating, like that you could disperse riders by making them shit themselves, because like no one cares. No one
Waddling
cares.
up to throw a petrol bomb.
Well, have you seen that video of the guy? Oh, the guy out on a crutch, looks like he's DLA and he's throwing bricks. Like, I mean,
There is something about that where I was like, I'm not that I'm okay with that, but I'm like, you know, that's a get up. Like at the minute, like we're all losing that fucking get up and go attitude.
he's
Like our motivation is lower, and like there hasn't been much vitamin D. That's a guy who supplemented up and went, fuck it, I can do it.
He's on his calorie supplements. He's had his second vaccine. He's out fucking trying to break the system. But you know what wound me up about that was like, I'm going, who's organising this that's letting that guy out in the middle of that? Like,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's not even, I don't know.
Maybe they should have like
I regret being
a
asked
soft
about
play,
politics.
a soft play zone.
A soft play for what?
Soft
For
play.
old riders?
Yeah,
Like-
foam bricks.
Can you imagine the police are in there just like, you know, hitting them with like foam clubs and going,
Look,
that's all but a bad.
We're not performing at the minute. We get actors, we get comedians to play like the police, or we could play riders on the other side.
I would definitely be cast as an organizer. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not a thrower. I'm a
Yeah.
puppet master, a faceless power broker, moving coin about my big map. You know, I'll move so many thousands of coin into this estate.
100%. The reason he mentioned the rat outside the McDonald's is because you have your eye on bringing another business to that industrial estate. Like you're speaking with Burger King and you're just on your map. You just push McDonald's out.
I'm gonna just walk out of your studio later. It's done.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah. The Sky Sports music comes on as I'm getting into the car.
Here, do you know what's sad? Right off, do you know what's sad? This
City
day,
beat
as in
Dortmund.
today,
What?
this day is the day that the Titanic sank.
Really? Shit.
1912.
What's that? 109 years ago?
Do you think anyone is like nowadays upset about that? Like living
I
in
don't
the
know.
world?
I know every time I watch the movie, I get upset about 3 times. I get upset every time I see that old couple on the bed and the water pouring in on the floor. Oh shit! Like
Billy Zane gets a bad deal.
he's fucking great in that. To be fair,
Yeah, and also it's like, okay, he's a prick, but like he gets fucking
I've
messed about.
I've got so much good Titanic trivia. Do you want some?
Yeah,
I'll try and make it funny, but it might just be brilliant facts.
that's
we
fine.
don't
Yeah,
know,
either
right?
way, that's still good. Yeah.
Here's a couple of things. See the priest that's on the boat saying the thing?
Yep.
True story. He's a real guy that was on the boat because Cameron's research is outrageous, right?
That's why he sent you to Kosovo.
He's a real guy who was on the boat. He was going to America to do his brother's wedding. To marry his. I was gonna say he's going to America to marry his brother, but
It's a separate film.
Yeah. And so that's a true story. Another one is see the guy who is with them on the back. You know, when the boat's going down and they're on the back thing and there's a guy drinking.
Yeah.
He's based on a guy who really did go into the water, and survived because he was just drunk enough. Like they said, if he'd had more drink, he wouldn't have survived. And if he'd had less, he wouldn't have been numb enough to the fucking cold. So there's a guy there. Another one is...
By the way, he's definitely an alcoholic now.
Oh,
Going, just in case.
I know. Oh, you never know when you're going to go into the drink. And the W.T. Stead was a famous journalist who sort of invented tabloid journalism, and he died on the Titanic.
There was loads of like
Famous people.
really influential people that were on that ship. Leonardo DiCaprio being one.
They wouldn't let on what do you call him, the black boxer. They wouldn't let him on it.
Anthony Joshua.
Jack Johnson, I think was his name. They wouldn't let him on, and obviously
Why? He had a ticket?
Because he was black. They wouldn't let him have a first class ticket because he was black.
Was he at the time like champion?
Yeah, world champion. It's like,
holy shit.
and it's like they wouldn't let him on the boat, and then it's like, AG, the ultimate AG. You know what I mean?
If this was nowadays, he would have so much merch based on that.
Wouldn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
100%.
like pictures of him, like, you know, like under the sea, punching a hole in the Titanic or something. You know what I mean? That's where my thoughts go to immediately. Like, uppercut.
He would 100% be brand ambassador for an iceberg lettuce company.
But there's another good one was, yes, this might be the best bit of trivia I have on anything, right?
Could this be the best bit of Titanic trivia of all time?
I just think this is really interesting, right? Yeah. See the guy, you know, in the movie, he's, you know, order! I will have order here!
Yeah.
You know, or I shoot you all like dogs. That guy, and then he loads his gun. Lightoller, he was the real, I think he was the second officer on the ship, and he survived this is mental. His life story is mental. He survived the Titanic. He survived another cruise liner that sunk. He was then a captain of a submarine in World War One, which was responsible for like wrecking a German convoy. Was accused of like war crime shit, like killing people that they should have probably rescued from the sea. Whatever. Lives through his 30s, becomes like a merchant, you know, ship guy, and had his own like little boat, and then took part in the fucking Dunkirk evacuation. Was one of the little boats that like went here, yeah, let's just get to Dunkirk and pick up as many guys as we can, and brought them back. And I know his son died in World War II. He was a pilot, but like just imagine that life trajectory of just like, I survived the Titanic, went to Dunkirk, whatever.
Wouldn't that be like after he did all that? Wouldn't that be a bit annoying being on a boat by chance with them and going, so do you have any stories?
Yeah.
Fucking 6 hours later.
You wouldn't even believe him.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even believe him. Well,
No.
it was on the Titanic where you...
Yeah.
You go, right, okay, and then you maybe believe that. And then, I mean,
Yeah.
he would have madder stories than Paddy McDonnell.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You'd be sitting there going, no, you didn't. You know
If
what
I
mean?
was
Like,
on the Titanic,
yeah.
I would never be on a boat again.
No, neither would I. I definitely would have died. I know I would have died because I'd have been in one of them steerage rooms. Do you know, I would have been one of them tramps that didn't even give me a life jacket, and I'd have been one of those people going and like pushing other people.
You know
down
what you
into-
would have done? You would have, as the boat kind of like hit the water when it was up on its end, you would have jumped off at the last minute and gone, it's all right, I'll just jump into the water at the last minute. You know, people like do that thing where they're like, if I was on a lamppost and it fell towards the ground, I just wait till the last minute and then just jump off.
Walk off it.
Yeah.
I always, mate. Do you ever wonder if you were in a lift and the hoist snapped, if you jumped up at the right moment? I wonder that every time I get into the lift. I'm like, I'm always waiting on hearing the, and then I'm always waiting on it. And you know, sometimes I try to preempt it. Do you ever play the game of going like that on lift? No.
No.
You like bounce up and down a lift.
You sort of want this to happen to see if you could survive it.
Yeah, but I would only do it between like, you know, the shopping floor and the ground floor in Castle Court or something, you know. So I might survive it anyway with like a couple of broken legs. But no, like I always wonder, would you be able, like that's one I'd love to see
By
on
the way,
Mythbusters.
sorry, I was in a lift once that got stuck in the Canal Court Hotel in Newry, right? And the doors eventually opened, but it was like you could see this much. You know, you were at, your head was at ground level,
Yeah.
and the doors were closed. And it was a guy in like Birmingham on the customer support for the lift, and he was talking us through it. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna get you sorted." Blah blah blah. Sat there like me and my mate Stevie for like I don't know half an hour, and just like in like good spirits on, just sitting chatting away. And then the guy had been like talking us through everything, and then we didn't know he was still on the line. And after half an hour, and we're talking all the shit of the day. After half an hour, he goes, "So what's the crack today, lads?" And we were like, "Why are you still here?" Still just making small talk with this guy.
I get stuck in. Do you remember the Tower at Queen's? You know the big library. It used to be the big tower block. You know you have like at the front, like if you're looking at Queen's, that's the Lanyon building.
Yeah.
On the left, behind that there was the big tower block.
Right.
And there was like 11 floors, and like, oh mate, the stories of that tower. Like, so I was doing ancient history. So like I was on. Well, like 5, 7, 10, 11 were like the floors where there was ancient history related shit. A lot of time was just on floor 10, 11. And mate, I got stuck one day on the way down from the 10th floor. No chance I'm taking the steps, like, and I got stuck in it with there was a Chinese student, like a girl, and there was a guy.
Is this
like
a one-liner?
There was a guy. So the Chinese girl didn't like. She wasn't speaking much English. She literally was just like, you know, like she didn't really say anything. And I like in my mind's eye, I'm like she said nothing. Do you know what I mean? But the guy was having a full panic attack. And
Was he local?
Yeah, and we were stuck in it for like, I mean, like 40 minutes, something like that. And he was freaking out hard for 20 of them, and I was just sitting there going,
yeah.
And you couldn't text. There was no signal, so I'm just sitting there going, this is dog shit. And my dad was waiting to pick me up downstairs. He wasn't pleased when I came down 40 minutes late and hadn't been in touch with him. Like,
well, no wonder the guy was freaking out, because you're probably going, here, do you know that if this does go down, if we all just jump at the last minute, it'll be sweet.
Yeah.
That's like the other thing as well, as people who go, if a plane's going to go down, just push against the seat in front. You'll be all right. No. Yeah.
You fucking won't. But
oh well. Yes, I was not under the impression
all you'll be
this would
doing is giving that person, you know, early onset curvature for about 2 seconds before you all get burnt. Like, mate, I shit
I
myself.
spent
on
so
planes.
many years.
Have you ever taken a shit on a plane? I haven't.
Yes.
I've pissed. I don't like a toilets on planes.
Not the eye, but like the other option is just sit in it.
I held a shit in when I was going. When I was going to New York, I held a shit in from about Iceland. Do you know what I mean? I was just like
The supermarket.
yeah. No, I held a shit in from like, you know, oh, if you look out to your left, you'll see the lights of Reykjavik, and I'm like, why does that make me need to shit? Must have been the way he said Reykjavik. Must have like just cruised over the brown note.
You were looking to slip a brown.
Yeah, he's like, if you just look out to your left, you'll see the lights of Reykjavik. Can I just fucking? I was just like, oh mate.
Of course, I've shit on a plane.
I haven't. I find it difficult to shit in public places. You know,
Yeah, I wouldn't
like
say
public toilets.
I wouldn't
rather.
say I enjoy it.
You know what I mean? Just like see the fountains in Castle Court, terrible place for shit. Like, you know what I mean? Why was I in those fountains? Stealing people's wishes. Collecting.
No, you had the goblins in there underwater.
Just walk through it with magnets on my feet.
They're like, why is there 50 little plastic things hanging out of this fountain? You got all the goblin snorkeling gear.
Do you ever go out to Whitehead? You know,
No.
like I was out there. You've never been to Whitehead?
I mean, I'm sure I've been in it or through it, but I've
I-
never said to myself or anyone else, we're going to Whitehead.
I've only discovered that Browns Bay and Whitehead and all that even exists. It's weird because I sort of know quite a lot of places here. I know it sounds stupid, but like I know the coast quite well. And
Why are you from 1712? I discovered more land. I know the coast like the back of my hand. Whitehead.
Apart from this whole bit of it, that I only just discovered that it existed during the
I'm just
pandemic.
picturing you in a boat heading towards it. Binoculars.
And
The goblins rowing.
half a Scandinavian woman's been found in Whitehead, the other half in Scotland, who investigates Twank and his goblins, right? She appears to have drowned in navel juice.
What do we think, sire? Check her pockets.
The setup was the one in the North Face jacket did the damage.
There's a £5 note cut in half. You're like, fuck it, we'll sell it.
Anyway, this is so shit now. We've peaked because my Whitehead story shite. It was just related to the fountain. I went out to Whitehead, and there's like a nice lander you can do from.
Not sounding any less like a 1712 guy.
There's a nice walk by Whitehead. Oh, it's just reminded me of something related exactly to this. See a fucking advert, see if I say it again, that the ship was called the Billy of Tea. I'm gonna fucking murder a cunt. See that advert? Mate, that exact advert though, see that, mate, that is hipster in all the ways that I hate. Some guy sitting thumping a butter tub in his living room going, the ship was called the Billy of Tea. I'm like, you've never pulled a rope a day in your life, you can't. Oh, it winds me up. Anyway, out of Whitehead, there's this downer you can do from the Harbour car park out to the lighthouse. And it's actually really nice, but mate, the day we went out was like freezing rain, really grim, and I was raging. You know, like I know Dave mentioned something like this a while ago, where his missus had him out on a walk, and you're just like,
yeah.
I was having all those feelings, right? And I'm wrapped up, mate. I was wearing like I had like my vest, a t-shirt.
I thought you were just gonna leave it a vest.
A hoodie, a flimsy. I'm wearing a wee shiny flim today. The what do you call it?
Fuck it. What is that? Under Armour?
No, it's just a wee flim.
What? Why are you going? It's just a wee flim. I can't see it anywhere.
I never
else,
wear t-shirts with a vest on. I have like
okay.
I have tits. No, it's like I have like I'm always wearing some form of girdle. Right? No, it's I have a
Girdle's your assistant in the crime drama.
I know it's that Girdle.
Twank
That'd
and
be
Girdle.
such a great name for like the first mate, the first goblin. Girdle. Mate, I can't stop thinking about Twank Investigates with a wee team of fucking goblins. That is a show, like. Anyway, so what was I on about? Yeah, I was so I have like this is a rare statement, but it's true. You know, like fabric sensitivities.
It's a serious crime drama, but the goblins are all just
Rolling. See what he said about the rolling?
Colonel has the telescope out.
And I make them sing sea shanties. Keep the stroke. Ship was called the Billy of Tea. Anyway, so I have these fabric sensitivities, so I wear a vest. So anyway.
My lung just. Just give me a sec. Give me a sec. Okay. I'm good.
I was out in Whitehead. I'm wrapped up. I have a hoodie on, and then, mate, I have a large camouflage army surplus jacket with a hood, right? And I had a hat. I was wearing my Cafe O hat, right? And Yeah, mate, the story's so shit because it's we dandered out with that, and you get out to the bit of, like the rocky bit around the bottom of the lighthouse, and there's a bit where then there's all this like new modern concrete bit of the path that's like all built up with like wee walls on it, so it's safe. But then you can look into these caves.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
And there's a bit where people have thrown money into like a wee bit, and I was sitting there going, "How can I get to it?" No, there was like, "Guddle."
What's that called? This is called the something. Is it this path?
Oh, there's a name.
Whitehead. The what?
It is the Goblins. That's exactly it.
The Goblins.
Yeah. I every time I say it, I call it the Goblins. Just right anyway, but that is what it's called, the Goblins Path, and
Goblets on the Goblins.
Girdle the magnets, right? And I see all these coins in this wee bit, and Chloe flicked one in, and she always wishes for the same thing when she makes a wish, right? Which is for happiness, right? I always wish for her happiness when I make a wish, right?
I don't know why I find that funny.
I know, right? But she throws a coin in and lands perfectly.
Yeah.
And she wishes for happiness. And I went to throw one in, wishing for her happiness, and missed it. So it was this whole thing about like whether or not I cancelled her wish. Anyway, that was such a shite story compared to the banter of... You know.
I thought you were going to say she flicked a coin in, you hit her in the back of the head.
Oh, mate, it's so funny. Like,
Need to be frugal.
tuppence is tuppence. Oh, mate.
Oh my god.
Unbelievable.
Oh, I laughed. So did you hear the noise where I laughed?
I heard it. It sounded like your diaphragm
I
snapped
feel
or
like
something.
I feel freed up.
Yeah.
You know, in my chest.
You've probably shifted like, you know, like an old bit of a Maowan bar or something that's been in there.
Oh, very, very enjoyable.
Thanks, by the way, for the San EP, mate. That
I mean,
means a
I've
lot to
never.
me.
So here's the thing. I was frustrated last week. I said I want to make you feel as comfortable as possible.
That's
So-
why I came in with pajamas.
So last week I said, "Can I get you a sparkling water?" And you said, "No, thanks, mate. I'll bring my own." Perfect. I went to a cafe. I put in a very specific dietary order. Now, someone obviously working in that cafe took a picture of the order that came through,
Oh, I saw that.
sent it to Come and Get Us, sent it into our WhatsApp group. Now, here's the thing. What was picked up on, the really weird bit of the order, which was Caesar salad but no croutons,
Yeah.
was actually not for me, but for Dan over there.
Is there a reason for the no croutons? Is it a...
Celiac.
Oh, right, okay. Right,
Celiac.
sorry. Well, I didn't mean to pry.
And, go ahead, say it. He wants to say it, say it.
They fucking put the croutons
They
in
put the croutons in.
all the way through the salad.
Yeah. So, here's the
It's
thing.
actually easier to make it without them because you don't, like... Sorry. You're not asking for extra croutons.
That gets sent into your WhatsApp group that I was picking up food from a cafe. And by the way, I've already been back for like an hour or 45 minutes. You said, do they do sparkling water in the cafe?
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted
I
to
thought,
get
it was,
you
in
sparkling
I thought
water.
it was in KFC.
No, oh, okay. So what I was ordering was called Korean fried chicken.
Did you think I was giving you shit?
No, not at all, not at all, not in a serious way.
I wasn't.
just
No,
mean-
but I
of
wasn't.
No. I know you weren't, right?
Do you know what the joke was I was making?
No.
Right, so...
Oh, the KFC wouldn't do sparkling water.
No, because Gaddis posted it in.
Yeah.
So there was a time when me and him were at a McDonald's drive-through, full circle, and I famously asked, you know, the guy goes, drinks, and I went, do you have any sparkling? And there was just the perfect amount of silence before, no. Right?
No, would they have this rat? But I was sad that I couldn't provide. I thought I wanted to provide you with a nice experience, and then I thought that you then wanted sparkling
No.
water, and I couldn't
No.
then go out and get you.
No.
So I was delighted to see your reaction when you came into the room and said, like a 7-year-old, you went, "That's the best one."
It is the best one. It's the best sparkling water. Listen, sorry, at no point, I didn't
Mate, there's
even,
no apology needed.
I didn't even make that connection because
No
I told
apology
you I
needed.
didn't want any, and I
yeah,
didn't.
no, there's no apology needed.
Right, sorry.
All we need, there's no apology needed. I don't accept.
I don't accept.
But the main thing is, I was happy that it made you happy.
It does make
So
me
I
happy.
wished for your happiness, and it came true when you saw that ball.
I call it Sunny P because it reminds me of Sunny Delight. And it's not as nice as Sunny Delight, but...
Sanny P sounds like a guy who would be close with So Solid Crew, but not in it.
Yeah.
You know, he'd support Oxide and Neutrino on tour. Sanny P, big up yourself.
He sorry. This is so shit. I was gonna say he does the sound check for Shanks and Bigfoot, but he's not in it. It's so shit. It's the same joke you made, a lesser version of it.
Does he work for the crew on the production side of things, and he also raps? But he just does their work.
He's in the So Solid crew.
Yeah. He's in So Solid Crew's crew. He works with Shanks and Bigfoot on the production side of things. But when they go, you can do the sound check, he's into it a bit too much.
Yeah.
He's like, 1, 2, yeah. You know, like he's trying to show off.
Do you know what I hate? Do you ever go to see like an actual rock band gigging, and when they're
Look at me.
when their crew are out doing sound check, when you get a moment where you know that crew have their own band,
Right,
they'll play being 100% serious, but they're being 100%. Look at how fucking amazing I am, right?
Yeah.
But they're playing with like a I don't really give a fuck. I don't give a fuck attitude. But the plan is, I absolutely give all the fucks.
They're literally playing to 80,000
By the way,
people.
That's my international symbol for I can play the guitar like fuck.
I thought that's your international symbol for Beckham and the Goblins.
Yeah.
Come to me.
Girdle.
Fetch the others.
Fetch my ledger.
We have an expedition to go on. We will discover a new land. Dungannon. Girdle stands on your shoulder and all the rest are
I
behind
like to
you.
think that all the goblins are from the goblins. And like when I go there, I'm going to pick a new one to replace the one I've just killed.
They're,
you know what I mean?
they're growing you new ones in soil under the rocks, and you just walk about going, good.
That's where I go to replace the one that I just kicked into the fire for losing me some interest. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, great. The long live the coin.
Absolutely. Here, what's your favourite song from that sort of? What do you class that as?
Are you
like
saying
that?
Shanks and Bigfoot, Sweet Like Chocolate era?
Yeah, I know what mine is. Mine is "Lady" by Mojo.
Great song.
I love that. See that bass, see the bass in the background.
I've got one for you. I've got one for you.
All right.
Artful Dodger and Robbie Craig, Women Trouble.
Woman trouble.
I feel fantastic, bombastic, ecstatically astounded. How a girl can really lose her brain. Oh, do you know what this is? I'm like that roadie because I know you can play music and sing, and I'm like trying to act like I'm not really singing there, but I'm singing.
Oh man, I love it.
Do you know what's mental? Me and Mike over there, when we were like 16, we were in tech. There was a guy in our class, and then his mate who were actually from Carrick, and they were really big into rap music. And I just remembered this the other day. Right, this is MSN Messenger era days.
I wasn't allowed it. Go ahead.
And they
There wasn't any money
used to
to be
register.
made.
You're on the register, right? Yeah, they were like, oh, we're writing all these freestyles and all. And they said they were like a bit of a 2-man crew. Me and him were a bit of a 2-man crew. They said we should do like we'll do a freestyle and then you just do one back. I don't know if you remember this, but what happened was, and this is so savage, but no, didn't mean to be. Now I think back to it, they wrote like a track, and they were like, "You write one too, and we'll see who can like write the better track." All fun and games. Me and him write one that was like out of 8 Mile, like it was horrendously like offensive to them and like really personal attack because I thought that's what they were doing. We played them ours.
You wrote a diss track for them?
Yep.
Right, okay.
We sent it to them on MSN Messenger, and I genuinely, right?
What did you do? Just send them the lyrics?
No.
Or
We recorded it with Avicii over there.
do you still have the recording?
There's no way we would.
Well, find that. Remember that photo or the video of you punching me in the face? So
Yeah, we thought we were doing like we were trying to be jackass for a while, and he asked me to punch him in the eyebrow and nearly broke his head. But they were called THC, and I don't even know what that stands for with hindsight. But I remembered the other day that I still know the words to it.
THC is like the chemical compound, and
I don't even think they were that smart to
Right.
make it a double meaning. I think it was like something Carrick. You know what I mean? The something Carrick. But our rap went THC don't want it with me. And by the way, I'm obviously doing a bad American accent when I was doing it. THC don't want it with me. THC just want to get with me. Now, 2 lines in, and I'm already going down that route. And then some of the lyrics were like, one sounds like, and this is not good, but the back and beat was class. So it was like, one sounds like Bruce Lee, the other one like Julian from UTV. Now, doesn't make a lot of sense. And one of them was short. Remember the other guy? And I was like, THC don't want to get. Money was suspect, but and yeah, they were called. Their rap names were Matty B and Suspect, and some of the lyrics were Matty B and Suspect, but they get their nuts wrecked. So I'm like talking about chopping off their balls.
That's good.
And it was it was really good. It was tight. It sounded good.
Castration poetry.
Then they played theirs, and it was like chilling with our mates, and then shouting our names out. So it was like they had not done a diss at all. If anything, it was like a track about friendship with us.
They've.
And I'm like, I'm gonna cut your balls off. You're gay, you know. So
just the 4 of us, and you're like fully hitting on them as hard as you can.
One sounds like Bruce Lee, the other like Julian.
Tell you what, mate, I'm always interested in rap.
I wish you could find that.
I'm always interested in rap from here. I hate when people don't do it in a comedy way. I hate when they're being 100% serious.
Yeah.
It's like, do you ever see when you see somebody dancing and they're taking it seriously? I'm like, I can't cope with you. You know what I mean? Like, you know when
someone's
you see somebody,
serious dancing?
somebody's dancing, they're just like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like,
body popping or
enjoy
like,
yourself with it.
Yeah,
do you know what was on the radio on the way down? I don't know if you remember this. What?
Lone Star?
No. Run DMC versus Jason Nevins.
It's like that, that's the way it is.
Mate, I love it.
Shout out to Dave Elliott, who thought the lyrics were Run DMC and that bastard Dave. Run DMC and that bastard Dave. Run.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Jam Master Jay, is it not? Something like that.
Let's leave it on. We started off by talking about a song that would make you cry. Do we have one more each? Is there anything?
I think we started off by talking about Switzerland, but whatever.
Oh yeah, true. Sorry.
I do. Can I give you a wee Swiss story briefly?
100%.
I got stuck in Switzerland waiting on a flight.
That sounds like the start of a Lone Star song.
I got stuck in Switzerland.
Thought about you all day and night.
Stuck in Switzerland waiting on a flight. I don't understand the money. Their money was woeful anyway. Like the Burger King that I had in the airport on the way out of it. I had no money, by the way, when I got there. And I was staying, I'd booked a wee hotel near the airport. But my dream was to open a Swiss bank account. I had one day to do it, right? I really wanted, just so I could say it's in the Swiss account as a joke.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get, one of the ones that has like a safety deposit box. And I swear to God, my plan before I went to Kosovo was leave a bottle of drink from Kosovo and a clean pair of monks and a clean pair of socks in this deposit box. And then if I'm ever back in Switzerland, I'll claim it, right? But you needed money to open the account.
Okay.
And I spent
roughly like ballpark.
It was like £100. It was like a minimum. You need to have like whatever it was.
And you would have been prepared to spend it, but you didn't have it on you.
Yeah, I didn't have it at all. So I spent all my money taking a taxi to the bank and getting back to the hotel. Devastating. And I barely had enough. You can't, you shouldn't drink the water out of the tap.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I barely had enough for like a bottle of water to get me through that day. And if you know me, mate, I'm a hydrator, so I hydrate a lot. And fuck mate. Anyway, I got stuck in this hotel, and then the next day it was like 18 quid or something for my Burger King, and that was like the last coin had on earth. Yeah. And then when I got home, I swear I found a $5 in a pair of jeans in my bedroom, and I remember just going like,
what that could have been.
And I've never looked back, mate. I've turned that $5 into the TWANK millions. But songs that make me cry part 2.
I'll go one, and then you finish the podcast by giving us one. Mine, Eric Clapton, Wonderful Tonight, or Tears in Heaven.
Tears in Heaven, mate. Oh.
Tears in Heaven, about his son who fucking died in a tragic accident.
Yeah, fell
what
out of a window.
Song.
Yeah, that's horrific. I think maybe John Martin again. John speaks to me on a personal level, but I'm trying to think of another one that gets me.
Go for it.
Go. And this is niche. I don't know if you've even heard this. The Old Man by Phil Coulter.
No.
it's such a, you know, he might as well literally come on and go, my dad is fucking dead now, because it's about his dead dad, like, and it's this whole bit about, like, it finishes with him going, God, I miss him, the old man, and you're like,
Yeah,
doing it to me. But I want to give you a better one that you've definitely heard.
You love Years and Years.
I do love
There's
him.
probably a Years and Years song.
Isn't that weird that how do you know what I love him? Have we talked about
You
that?
just announced it one day.
Mate, it's a...
It had been bubbling inside, and you just grabbed me by the scruff, and you went, I need to tell you something. What? You put your head against mine, and you bit your lip, and you're, I love her Years and Years.
I do love him, mate. I see well produced pop music, mate.
Yeah.
I'm all in. George Michael and fucking Kylie Minogue. I'm admitting probably to too much here. Like, see those bass sounds? You can't beat them. Anyway, rich bass. Something that makes me weepy though. Sting. There's a couple of Sting songs. Every time, Why Should I Cry For You? By Sting. No, anybody?
I haven't heard it, but I will.
It sounds weirdly nautical, which kind of makes me feel like I'm on that wee boat out by the Goblins. But it's because he's singing about, it's about his dad. His dad wanted him to just be in the merchant sort of shipping business, and wanted him to be a sailor, and he never wanted that, and it was a source of conflict between them. And the song is like, he's singing about like how I don't want to just be out in the middle of the sea hauling on these ropes. And when his dad dies, he's like, I don't know why. I'm crying for you, but I don't know why, because we never really got on that well.
Yeah, and I'm worth like 50 million now.
Yeah, and you don't even...
Piece of shit.
Mate, Sting shits 50 million. Sting... Do you know what I love about Sting? I aspire to be that much. He's rich. I aspire to be that much of, like... Because I know he's a wanker, like... But I love it. You know, like, you look at Van Morrison, you go... Wanker. And you don't want to be mates with him. Sting, I'm like, wanker, make us a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Rather, let me make you a cup.
Yeah, I love that. You're like, we could be mates. I'd let you make me a cup of tea.
I know, yeah, and I don't even drink tea. Do you know what I mean? I know, mate, it's true.
For fuck's sake.
By the way,
yeah.
Sorry, I know we need to finish, but talk to me about the ball wipes, because I'm actually...
Well, it's a little bit like Ron sealing that way. It does exactly what it says.
It wipes the ball, but like...
Do you want to take them home?
No, I just want to know. I'm sensitive.
We freshen up.
But is it like a baby wipe type thing, or is it like a... Well, obviously it's for a man's balls, but like...
Yeah.
Is it for...
Freshen it up. Yeah. I'm going to give you them. Take them home.
Bag wipes?
Take them home, yeah.
I'll try them.
Bag wipes is another one of the goblins. We'll see you next week. Ciaran, appreciate you coming on as always.
Cheers,
love
Bag
having
wipes.
you here. That was a lot of fun. I've collapsed along, so I'm going to A&E. Patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. You want that sweet extra content, and we will see you later.